Hey guys, I'm here with Jeremy Wyatt and Jeremy Hans, and just wanted to talk a little bit about using Zoom in the connection groups. These guys have been doing it. Jeremy Hans at Warrington for a few weeks now. Jeremy Wyatt just started this week. So I'd kind of like to hear from you guys how it was, first of all, getting people on Zoom that hadn't been on Zoom, some of the things that have gone well, and some of the things you wouldn't do. So kind of let's go to Jeremy Wyatt first, since you're the freshest of the bunch. How did you get people on Zoom? Did it go okay? Anything you could do better or wouldn't do this time?
Well, I'll say maybe I'm not too fresh or new at it. I have been doing it at work for a long time, and so I've used it quite a bit. And kind of knew what I was getting into. But no, I think the approach that we took was it's pretty easy to use, right? Like if you can click the link, you can get in it. It kind of walks you through what you need to do if you don't have the app installed, and
Right.
if you're using it on a desktop, it's even easier. But
To be fair,
really,
I had a little trouble starting this meeting. So
that's true. That's true.
Reality.
I wasn't going to say that, but no, I think it's pretty easy to do. I think the biggest challenge that we were trying to mitigate with our connection group was just making sure that the platform on which I was telling people about it was kind of consistent. So just a lot of blast in all the different mediums where people might get the information about the meeting, because we decided on Thursday to do it.
Right.
Some people don't check Facebook Messenger, some people don't check email, so you just have to go at all of them. So we sent a class email. Interestingly enough, on that email, we had someone who had left Olive and moved up to Virginia and ended up joining. We had great fellowship with him
Awesome.
on Sunday. But so email, we did an event in our private Facebook page for adventurers. And then sometimes you don't see the event for some reason. So I posted the event in our private Facebook page as a post, just trying to over communicate and make sure people saw the post. And I think that was helpful. We had a pretty good turnout. I didn't count the people there. You were there. I don't know, you may have counted, but we had a decent turnout at that. So
it was great, especially for your first one. One thing that I would say is if you need help communicating with people, we can do that for you. We can send out Clearstream texts or emails. We can even call people. Okay. So if you need help getting people on there, don't hesitate to ask us, and we can help make that a little bit easier. How about you? How about over at Warrington? How did that go, getting people on there?
So 2 weeks ago, basically the first week we went to online only, I decided we were going to go on Zoom. We immediately started texting everybody. And so I texted like 30 families to let them know exactly what's going on. And that was a pretty good response. We actually had 3 families that have not regularly come to in campus on meetings, but they're just kind of loosely associated, that have joined us for the last 2 weeks. And then of course we used our Facebook page also pretty well between text and Facebook to get everybody to at least know what's going on.
That's super interesting to me that both of you had people that are not necessarily able to attend regularly right now. And I would say for all of our groups, it's a really good time to throw the net out again and invite folks, because if they had schedule conflicts or whatever, this could be a really good time to get reconnected. Maybe it'll be easier for them. So I think that's awesome. Now, you've probably been doing this the longest. What's really gone well at Warrington? What are some of the wins you've seen so far?
So the first week I tried to teach via Zoom, the same way that I would teach a class. I would say that did not go well. My internet went out halfway through. My kids were in the other room trying to stay on Right Now Media, right? So our internet was dying on us. I basically tried to do too much. And so last week, instead, I kind of rolled it back. We found actually a YouTube video of a preacher kind of preaching on the verses that we were covering. So we took 7 to 10 minutes, kind of stepped away from Zoom, had everybody go to YouTube and watch that little part. And then we came back and we discussed that. So that was really helpful to kind of actually have a class. If I just kind of sit around and chat. And then the other thing that we've had good success with is breaking out into the breakout rooms. So if you have some of the Zoom options to send people to separate rooms, so there's a few less people to try to communicate a little bit easier. We do prayer request and prayer time there to finish it off. And that's been really good, so that people could actually not feel like they're just staring at 30 faces.
Yeah, absolutely. I've kind of been beating the drum for the last couple of weeks that content's really important and doctrine's important. But right now, content's got to be limited. You said 7 minutes. I've thought 10, 12 at the most, maybe 15. 15's probably pushing it. but really just caring, seeing people, praying with people, connecting. I really feel like that's the priority right now. Whether you use YouTube or writing a media or something else, as long as you're getting some content out there, well, let's discuss it and get people to kind of critically think about what we're talking about. So that format, would you guys agree, disagree? 10 minutes of content roughly, and then discussion, questions, and prayer, kind of a well check. What would you guys say about that?
Yeah, I would add too, before that, we try to do at least go around the circle. I want to hear everybody's voice. And so kind of an icebreaker, something easy for them to answer / an update, how's our life changed in the last week since we saw them last? I think that helps to kind of break the ice a little bit, let everybody kind of, just let stuff out, people that are sick, whatever stuff going on. And then moving into the kind of discussion time, because once they break the ice and figure out how to use the clunky software, a little bit easier to discuss later on. Once the muting and unmuting's kind of understood.
Absolutely. How about the adventurers, Jeremy? What would you say?
Yeah, I think we took the approach of trying to do that similar approach, right? I want to talk to everybody and make sure they don't have a need or they have something they want to express. I think a lot of times people just want somebody to talk to, and so just going round robin and just saying, hey, what's going on in your life, like you did, Hans. That was great. That's been good. And then we didn't try that first week to do any content. I was really just trying to get an opportunity to see where people are at, see if I need to lift up any prayers. And so we kind of went that route. I think maybe next week. I don't want to get too aggressive with it because we're like 9 to 9:30. That gives us just a minute to get ready for the pastor's preaching that everybody wants to watch. And so 30 minutes is pretty good, especially if you're engaging with a number of people. So yeah.
That's great. How about the kids? How are the kids doing in the background? Like I know people are trying to kind of get away from their kids. Are they ending up participating? How's that looking so far for you guys?
I mean, my kids are in the other room. They get their Veggie Tales and they're pretty happy. But I think you have to expect and not be frustrated by people getting up, moving around, kids coming in and out of the shot. There's always one or two kids that wants to just come see what's on the screen or on the TV, wherever mom and dad's at. So, I mean, life's going to happen. I think this is an imperfect science, and just kind of accepting that. And it's not really been too big of a struggle. I think once kind of everybody figures out their way to operate on a video conference from home, it gets better. But I don't know. Don't let the small stuff stress you out.
Yeah, I think that's kind of key. Nobody expects anybody to be perfect right now. And even in professional settings, not just kind of connection groups, right? There's a lot of content that goes out that, I mean, is like this, like the background, I'm outside. And that's okay right now, as long as you're authentic with it. Like we started off, the video didn't work. That's okay right now. That stuff's going to happen. But really, I think it's worth managing those tensions so that we can connect and care for people, because that's the priority even more than getting everything perfect and putting on a production right now. Really, that's all I had for you guys. I wanted to ask anything you would want to add from the adventure side from either of you guys.
No, I don't have anything to add, man. I think it's been successful. I think that just if you got people that are thinking about doing it, just give it a try. Like the software is super simple to get around in, and people figure it out, and they actually end up having a good time with it. You mentioned the kids. The kids getting engaged in it, right? So it's actually kind of a family moment. So I think a lot of times we think of ministry in this box, like, I'm going to go, I'm going to do the lesson, and that's the way I think. And I think Hans too, because we're both kind of engineer minds, right? But I think what I've observed is like, hey, this is real life. And just the church is not in a building, right? And this is the epitome of that. And so, hey, you're just doing life, right? I'm not trying to teach you anything. You guys are teaching you a lot of lessons right now in this deal. So they just take a minute to connect and remind each other that we're here. We haven't gone anywhere. I gave a message to my company today via video, and I kind of ended it by saying, hey, we're the same company that we were when this virus started, right? We have the same core values. We have the same mission. Nothing's changed. And you guys are still killing it. There's no reason to stop. And that's the point, right? It's like, let me just get in front of these people, remind them of who they are, because sometimes you can forget in all the madness. And so it's just a good opportunity to connect. And we found it to be pretty beneficial. I'm looking forward to doing it again Sunday.
Yeah, that's really good. I shot that out last week, that our method has changed, but our mission is not. We're still developing fully devoted followers of Christ. So it may look a little different. I get to be outside, But that's okay. We can still disciple this way, and really, I think in some fresh and new ways right now. I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeremy. What'd you say there?
The only thing I would say, right? So I think it's a clunky method, right? And so the first time you try it, it's not going to go well. But expect that and just enjoy the fun that is the process of figuring it out. But two, right? I think there really is some opportunity to kind of expand ministry in ways that you can't do in person. So I think it's a much easier barrier to jump on a phone call or a video conference for 15, 20 minutes than it is to actually get dressed up and drive to church. So I think there's a real opportunity to do some stuff that maybe we couldn't have done the last couple of weeks otherwise. So
absolutely. As far as like analytics go, the church is actually seeing over double the amount of viewers or participants than we would on a normal Sunday. So the gospel is reaching very far right now, and we're going to see fruit for it in time. But for now, we just keep doing the same thing. We're still the same church. We're still the same business, as Jeremy said. We keep moving forward with the mission. So appreciate you guys. If I can help you, it's my job to help equip you guys, not in technology. Y'all are way better in technology than I am, but anything that I can do to assist, that's why I'm here. Whether it's on Zoom, we can help you manage those things, Facebook Live, YouTube, whatever it is. And we can get you the connections to do it. So appreciate you guys' time.
Awesome.
Thanks, John.